when you start taking it personally, this is when, it's the downfall of your game.
The tricky thing about poker is that you're gonna have a low sample on most people most of the times, and sometimes when you're playing an aggressive opponent, he's just getting a lot of good hands. It actually happened to me here in the 888 Poker Live Barcelona, that there was this guy that he was 3-betting every hand, and then I 4-bet all in and he has aces. And I hear that a lot from people. I hear that a lot, that like the guy was opening every hand and then I jammed and then he had kings.
I feel this a lot. When you're playing, sometimes you can feel like if someone's 3-betting you often, or maybe raising your big blind a lot, you can feel like they're just after you. And I think when you start taking it personally, this is when, it's the downfall of your game, because you might start playing hands differently versus them. But really, you just have to know it's not personal.
When you're against an opponent who is too aggressive, more aggressive than GTO perhaps, you don't actually have to do too much. If they're playing too many hands, if you just keep solid ranges, their wonky range is just going to break against your range.
When you have the impression someone is 3-betting you all the time and it's tough to play against them, first thing, maybe they did have a hand every single time. Because if it's like a short session, a couple levels of a tournament, that's not enough volume to determine if they are playing extra aggressive or not, unless you've seen their cards. So you shouldn't be playing out of your ranges. In general, you don't fight fire with fire, so you can just like play tight aggressive or just raise jam versus a 3-bet.
Just stick to your ranges. If he's 3-betting you, he's raising you, stick to your ranges. If you have a calling hand, call. You're eventually gonna get him, he's gonna blast off and you're just gonna stack him off. Play patient, be patient. It's gonna tilt you, but play your game, you'll be fine.
There are spots that if your opponent is 3-betting offsuit hands and he's over aggressive, he's gonna be over bluffing. So you can start 4-betting against him. Or, for example, if you defend the big blind against an aggressive player and you hit a part of the board, call him down.
The worst thing an aggressive player can run into is the call button. If someone is too aggressive, you just press call. And they are stuck. They can't defend against it. They just blast money with their bluffs. You press call, you win money.
One of the biggest mistakes that most poker players do, myself included, is make adjustments based on small samples. So make sure that you have a good sample of hands on your opponent.